welcome to the Sort of Truth podcast, the alcohol-fueled, chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sort of Truth series, serving up some cold hot dogs and some warm craft brews on the side. Disgusting, and yet I want it all at the same time. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jade, and on this episode, we're getting into Chapter 24 of Blood of the Fold.
That's right.
And speaking of, cold hot dogs and warm craft brews, which is like summertime, it's like the start of summer.
Yeah, we had the Memorial Day parade. It's done, so summer is on, and I'm ready.
Yeah, I feel like we have a summer theme going in this episode, like all the way through, with some of the content that happens in the episode, or the chapter itself. Our beer break is, like, right on point, too, and, like, yeah, it's all happening. Our beginning, it's great.
It kind of snuck up on us.
Yeah.
I know, like, there's plans. We have so many plans for the summer. Like, we got to go to baseball games. We got to go camping. We got to ride the motorcycle. We're going to go shoot guns and drink beer and podcast. Like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let me know if you are ready for summer, especially now that things are settling down a bit. And this summer we will be able to go enjoy ourselves.
Yeah. Me and you are fully vaccinated.
Fuck yeah.
So we are free to go do some things we haven't been able to do for a while, and that is...
I went for the first time ever into the store without a mask on, and I felt so weird, but I was just like, no, I did my shit. I'm good. We're good.
I don't know if I want to take mine off, really.
I felt naked, yeah.
I don't like people seeing my mouth now. I'm like, this is only for people I like.
Excuse me, could you not look at me when I talk to you? Not directly, anyway.
The only people who get to see my mouth are people I trust to eat with.
That's fair. Well, yeah. I mean, they're gonna. If you can eat with a mask on, then...
Well...
Can you?
No.
Oh, okay. Because you would have to show me that. Anyways, I think we should get into it.
I agrees.
Let's.
So, the chapter starts out with Phoebe asking a few rude-ass questions of our prelate about getting old and saggy, and Verna, way more politely than I think I could possibly be, responds to her. Like, I could never, ever hold my composure the way she does. She does seem a lot more mature and wise through this conversation than, like, Phoebe does, who is the same age as she is.
Yeah, that's something that I was going to bring up. They say a few times, well, you've got so much more wisdom now that you've aged and stuff like that. And physically, yes, she has gotten older, but time-wise, they are the same age. So, like, they've still had hundreds of years to, like, get to the point they are. They both have hundreds of years of wisdom. I think a little bit later in the chapter, she mentions, hey, you've had 3 lifetimes already.
Yeah, she's
so
like
you
300
should be
years old.
Extremely smart. And so for Verna to be like, well, you're just not as smart as me. She doesn't say that, but it's kind of what it felt like. It's like, well, you guys are still hundreds of years old. You should have lots of wisdom, each of you.
Yeah, there does seem to be a weird level of immaturity that comes with being at the castle for aging that long. Like, they're same age, but because Verna left the palace, she was able to mature in those 20 years like she would have, whereas Phoebe couldn't mature at the palace in the same way.
I mean, maybe. We know that they have to do the same thing over and over and over at the palace every single day, so there's no getting out and living, really.
Yeah.
Like, you can live and survive there, but it's not really any kind of life.
Yeah.
And yeah, Verna has gone out. She's learned about the world outside of the spells and the walls, and she's matured now, so she's totally over that shit. Well, I wouldn't even want to be your age. Young people are gross. Now what?
I wonder how much of that maturity actually did come in the last year and a half since meeting Richard and having the other sisters be murdered in front of her, and all of the other stuff that she's, like, found out about, like the Sisters of the Dark and all the convoluted bullshit that's going on at the palace. Like, maybe all of that knowledge, maybe she wasn't that mature, like, for 19 of those 20 years.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think she definitely wasn't that mature when she started. But I think having to fend for yourself for 20 years, like literally for yourself. Now, they did leave the old world, so is their money even any good? Or no, it is, because we're still on like a gold, silver system. So it might be a different print, but it still carries value.
Well, and I just, I don't know what the sister's ability to create money would be, possibly.
Oh yeah, we talked about that with Zed.
So I'm not sure.
But I think the point of it was that, like, she's been out there surviving for 20 years. And so I think once she was out on her own, her maturity, like, steadily rose.
Yeah.
To now where I can survive on my own in the wilderness, in a city, anywheres. And that's the wisdom.
I agree with that. There's a lot of shit that happened in the last year that I feel like also probably led to that rapid, like...
Yeah, well, she's got a value system now,
Yeah.
and now things are changing, and she knows where she stands.
Yeah.
So she can take action on that.
Yeah.
She's fucking Verna.
Well, she says she's still herself. Even though she's older, she still feels the same way about things. She still gets excited. She still gets horny, but now it's for men like her own age, like a age-appropriate horniness. You know, she doesn't
age-appropriate horniness.
She
Well,
doesn't
that's always
get stirred by the younger people as much. But
yeah, it doesn't take them just being young to get her going.
Yeah, you gotta have something back there.
Okay, you look good, but you got a 401k?
Yeah.
How about
you
a house?
Plan?
You working on one of those?
She also says that you always see older people as older than you will when you are that age, which is, like, super fucking true for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you're 15, a 30-year-old seems ancient. When you're 30, a 60-year-old does. When you're that age, you're like, I'm still, like, 16 in my head.
First, I was going to say, I'm probably around there, 13 to 16. Maybe closer to 16. But yeah, we're both over 30, so we're in the too old to be trusted by young people club now.
Oh, and I feel that when I talk to them.
Yeah, well, I feel that when I stand up most days. But yeah, I mean, that's a very true thing. Older people, I feel that way. Like, I know they're people. I know they all have personalities, and I try not to be like, oh, they're old, so you gotta be
And they were
quiet
like you
and
once.
Yeah, fuck yeah, they were. And inside, they probably still are.
Yeah.
So I do my best to just... And it's... Okay, I'm making it sound terrible right now. Like, I'd be like, no, Nate, remember, this is a human. It's not like that.
Interact
Yeah.
like you're supposed to.
But, like, you try to remind yourself of that. And to them, they're like, why is this kid weird? Like, what's the matter with him? Hey, talk, guy.
Well, yeah, and you look at the younger generation, you're like, I don't get you at all. You're being stupid. Even though you were that kid once.
Every 5 minutes. No, okay, not 5 minutes. Every 2 weeks, I learn a new word, and I'm frustrated immediately because I have no idea what it means. And I have to look it up, because they're like, what is this even?
Yeah, or
most of them don't even make sense.
A TikTok or something, and I'm like, oh, great. Now, show me what we mean.
This is going to show my age. The thing that people do now when they say, that moment when, or when you're blah, 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 and it could be literally any situation, and I'm just like, what'd you say? Because I think they're asking me a question or something.
And that's not even like a newer thing either.
No, it's not, but the boys will do that to me, and I'll be like, huh? What? Hold on, let me Google that.
What'd
what
you
are you
say
saying?
there?
Maybe try the translate thing. Hey, how do you download apps?
Speak into my ear horn.
Sorry. Yeah.
So, Phoebe is scared to get old, like most people are, but Verna says she wouldn't want to be young either, like we were just saying. Mainly because she doesn't want to be a dumb bitch.
I don't want to go back to being stupid.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to say that to her because they used to be friends, so instead she tells Phoebe she just doesn't want to relive the thorns she would have to face. Because, that is what makes you mature, and I think that's where my thought process was on the whole. Maybe a lot of that maturity came rapidly in the last little while. Maybe not a lot of it, but a good chunk of it, because the thorns she mentions is Jed, specifically.
Yeah. Oh, so when she got back, so very recently.
Yeah. I mean, there may have been others, but the one she remembers the worst is Jed only caring about her looks and looking at her like Phoebe is now, like she's a wrinkled old hag.
I could see it in your eyes.
Yeah.
Don't look at me.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think that just bad shit happening to you is what gives you a lot of that experience and maturity.
You're past it.
Yeah.
And you've gained knowledge from that now. Like, and you're probably better for it. So you don't want to go back. You don't want to go back. No.
Yeah. Well, and I guess everybody at the palace has been stuck there, so they don't really get to experience a lot of that stuff because,
That's true.
I mean, there's none of that. It's all the same all the time.
All the time. Every day. Eat, work, sleep, eat, work, sleep.
Shit.
Read a bunch of stuff if you're Warren.
So, Verna dismisses Phoebe after this conversation, and then she asks her to shield the door so she can go pray. There's going to be a secret prayer. There's going to be a secret prayer session, okay?
Does she normally lock the door when she just goes in there to pray, or is that a weird ask?
I think it's a new thing. Like, she just found the sanctuary, so she's using it now.
Okay, so while I'm not actually in the room, I'm
Yeah.
going to be out there. Just lock the door so nobody has to know that I'm not just working in the office.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Or something. Like, protect my... Like, I'm not going to be paying attention. I'm going to be in another place with the creator, in a way.
Oh, okay.
So, I need protection. So, protect me with my shield. Or your shield, I mean. Yeah.
Which also would give Verna a chance to find out whether or not the sisters are actually putting up good shields to protect her. Like, hey, I wanted to talk about your shield that you put up earlier. That thing was a real piece of shit. Do you not like me?
Yeah.
Are you mad at me? You called me old a bunch, and I didn't even flinch at that. So I felt I deserved a better shield than the one you gave me.
Also, 40's not that old, so calm down.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's only 40.
Yeah.
It's not like she's an 80-year-old woman, and they're like, oh, you look grotesque. Like, calm down. She's 40.
Yeah, she's like, did it hurt?
Yes, every goddamned day.
And honestly, Verna, did Verna have children? Maybe she did have a kid. I was just going to talk about gravity here for a second and how if she didn't have a kid, she wouldn't be looking that bad. But if she did have one, she may have, a little bit more wear and tear on the system.
Yeah,
but...
a little, yeah.
Anyways.
But that gives it a different beauty.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Phoebe mentions reports before she leaves, and Verna's like, hey, I can't ignore the light. I'm being called. Sorry, not my call.
That's just her putting her hands up and being like,
I don't know.
Sorry.
Nothing I can do.
I guess they'll just have to sit there.
If Phoebe,
better slow down then, huh, Phoebes?
Yeah, she accepts this, because at this point, she seems to be in awe of Verna in a way. Like, she has a different connection to the creator since becoming prelate. So she's like, oh, yeah, for sure. Go do the shit. You can't say no to the light.
That'll get you kicked out.
But before she leaves, Verna asks about Christabel.
That's a new name, right?
I think we were told one time that these sisters were missing, but it was like slid in there in like a very out of the way comment. But they don't know where Christabel, Amelia, and Janet have gone off to. These girls hung out with Verna and Phoebe back in the day. They were all super fucking tight. And it's weird that they just disappeared.
Gone.
Now, sisters can go off on little journeys. Not the ones like Verna did, but like they can go hang out for a while. They can go see their family. They have ways to leave the palace, but usually they tell people.
Yeah, like a vacation. You can't just leave work, but you're like, hey, I got a week coming up.
Because, yeah.
I'm not going to be here. So at least they may not know where you are, but they'll be like, yeah, he's on vacation. It's normal that he's not here, and there's probably a return day.
Yeah, and that makes sense. 300 years in the same place probably gets a little dull, so you need to spice things up a bit.
Oh my gosh, I need a vacation after like 30 days.
Yeah. Now, Verna is worried that these girls just left these women just left because they couldn't accept her as prelate. But as bad as that makes her feel, she would rather be that than something darker that took them from the palace.
Well, yeah, we know that we're dealing with, like, Sisters of the Dark. There's some evil fuckery going on over here at the palace, and she doesn't want that to be the reason that they're gone. That makes perfect sense.
I'd rather them just be dicks than be hurt.
But
basically,
if these people were her friends, then you would think that they would be less shitty about her becoming the prelate. Like, I wanted to be the prelate. Versus, hey, my bestie,